What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a new challenger in the world of RimWorld-style post-apocalyptic colony sims. A game that came out a couple weeks ago called Ascent of Ashes. I finally got to it on my list, and so today we're going to be playing the game for, I don't know, man. I'm going to try to get it edited, but I'm probably going to be playing for a while. I've been interested in checking this game out because a year ago, I took a look at a demo of this game, and it's made by a prominent group of RimWorld modders, basically, who made their own development house. And so these guys have the work history behind them to actually make a really good colony survival game. But I tried out a demo about a year ago, and it was really busted and not working super great. But the game is out for money right now, which means that somebody's got to do a video talking about what they liked and what they didn't like. So I figure, why not me? I got nothing going on right now. So let's dive on in. I've got a link to the game down below in the description if you wanted to check out the early access. From there, you can also find a bunch of other Nerd Castle links, just in case you wanted to hang out live. But let's get this thing started off, shall we? So inside new game, it looks like we've just got seeds, and we've got biomes, and we've got what kind of topography we want to play around with. I'll probably just leave it on temperate grasslands. This is the first time that I'm playing the game. I like the idea of small hills being on the map just as a defensive thing. I don't know if the game's going to take into account altitude, but I suppose I could also just build tall buildings with snipers on them and I guess sandbags or Hescos on the roof. I don't know. We'll figure it out after we get in. Let's go ahead and check the game out and see what we're working with here and whether or not it should go on a wish list or not. So we've started out with 5 guys here, and oh my god, dude, what is that thing? A ham grazer? Dude, he big, pink, hungry, and like to eat. He just like me for real. All right. Over here, we've got 5 guys. We've got Ted. It looks like Ted is pretty solid with plants. He's not too bad at it. Doesn't look like he likes mining or crafting. Other skills, sort of negligible, like a little bit of shooting in there. And apparently he really likes punching guys in the face. We've also got Jameer. Jameer is good in social situations and otherwise okay at farming, I guess. Not super great. Right here we've got Masao Rubio, who is very good at fighting, very good with plants, very good with people. Oh my god, this guy's an unbelievable god. He's also no slouch at medicine either, and having a good doctor in this situation would always be helpful. Looks like we've got Setsuko. Setsuko also good at melee. That's unfortunate in a game that's mostly about guns. I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably good to have somebody that's good at shooting people in the face. So I suppose, what do we start out with here? It looks like we've got some ammo cans right there. We've got a machete in that spot. That spot right there has a magnum revolver. And actually, after looking around, there's a gun under that bush right there, too. There's some kind of hunting rifle underneath there. I'm guessing that since these guys were RimWorld modders prior to the creation of this game, everything's going to function pretty much exactly the way that you expect for a game that's based off of RimWorld modding. And so yeah, it looks like you can just instantly right-click stuff on if you want them to equip it. Who's my best shooter? Ted, apparently my best shooter. All right, well, with 4 shooting skill, go ahead and get the rifle. It's on you. And then Setsuko over here looks like she's somewhat okay at it. Like I said, dude, I feel really, really nervous about giving people melee weapons in a game where people have I don't know, dude, Colt Pythons. That's all that I'm saying, is that seems a little horrifying. I feel like I'm setting them up for failure. All right, so we've got a number of trees and things out here. Let's go down to our orders real quick, and it looks like we can easily chop down trees. However, these trees may not be mature enough to actually be useful to be chopped down. It looks like they're not accepting the input for right now, and so we need to find trees that are acceptably mature to be cut down. And if they're along the edges, that's perfectly fine too, because I figure it will reveal outside areas that will give us more resources inside of our access area. We do have a menu here for zones, and so I'm going to play this exactly like I would play a fresh RimWorld playthrough. I'm going to say it's probably a good idea to get ourselves farming. And so I can't see super great on the ground right here, but if I can give myself a 5x5 farm, let's start out with that, because that feels like it's going to work. Why is it so red like that? That worries me. Honestly, I think it's just a default color that the game gave to it. I thought that I did something ridiculously wrong right there because everything turned red in my UI, and I was like, oh my god, dude, we've been doing a video for 3.5 minutes and I already done broke it. I'm gonna have to restart. I'm gonna have to make some edits. It's gonna be the worst day ever. No, we're fine. It just picked red as its default color for some reason. If we can get some of these trees chopped down, apparently farming is a much higher priority than everything else too, and as a fan of eating and enjoying eating, that kind of makes sense, dude. Nobody wants to go hungry. I'm gonna let them chop, get some resources together, and then we'll figure out where we want to go after this. Some solid chunks of wood out of some of these trees, actually. Each tree's giving us like hundreds of wood. Okay, like I figured we were gonna have a wood shortage just kind of like based on what we had available, but I think we'll be all right. I think the big thing that we need to do is we just need to get people set up. So I'm gonna give an order to kind of like clear as many plants as you can from this area. I think that's a really good idea because we're gonna need equitable building space at some point because really we're just gonna be setting up a shanty town as it stands right now. It's the first day in a colony survival game. It's gonna be a little uncomfortable, unfortunately, for everybody involved. The ground has been cleared, and I think the evening is going to be upon us. So what I'd like to do for right now is let's just get a campfire deployed. I think that would be a really good idea. I don't know exactly where I want it to go, but we'll put a campfire right there to sort of designate the center of our society. And then we're just going to put down some quick survival beds, I think, so that everyone has a place to sleep tonight. And then we'll try to actually get them proper facilities tomorrow. I'm guessing they're going to have to sleep at some point before we're actually going to get any real construction done. And so maybe having this stuff in play early so that they're not sleeping on the ground. I don't know if this is one of those games where when people eat without a table, they go on a mass genocidal homicide rage of shooting everybody and lighting all their friends on fire. And so in the interest of avoiding that, let's just get everybody a sleeping spot so that they have some place to go once the sun goes down. I'm super glad that I did that because, yeah, dude, they didn't even make it through the entire work order before everybody had to crash out. And so I'm glad that I took that little pause. It seems like right now, all of the optimization, or I guess all of the priorities, I suppose, for what everybody's doing at the moment, they seem to already be set up in a satisfactory way. I'm going to have to dig up that menu at some point, but it looks like clearing the ground is very, very, very low priority. Everybody's back up, and it looks like we've got our ground cleared, which is very, very helpful. Are they able to mine out those rocks right there without pickaxes or anything? Oh, it looks like they can. Okay, so they've got like the integrated Inspector Gadget pickaxe right now that they just like pull out of the ether. Fine by me. We've got a whole bunch of wood, so I think it's going to be a really good idea for us to start putting in some kind of shelter and housing. So that's precisely what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a big old building over here, and we're going to have them get started on it. Perspective might make it a little bit difficult just due to the isometry of the game, but I think we'll be okay because I'm gonna make this like a multi-layer building that has like an upper floor too. And so like if I can get some stairs right there, that'd be perfecto, dude. Get that right where it needs to be, and then we can get a door. I'll put a door on each side since I'm unable to center it. That's my dead bang solution in Minecrafty games, where when the tile count is even, you can't center things properly, and when it's odd, you can. If it ends up even, I just put a door on each side, one spaced away from the wall. I don't know, dude. It fixes the aesthetic and makes it look nice. One little thing that I'm noticing while they're constructing this building right here is that unlike RimWorld, they don't grab enough materials to fill in as many jobs as possible and then go through installing them all, basically. They iteratively grab one thing at a time and go back, and occasionally it looks like they're sharing the spot that they're working on, which is wasting productivity because one will inevitably break off to go work on another spot and go get stuff for it, like when he's midway through the order. I don't know if they actually assist each other. I'm gonna need to see like a progress meter or something for some of these buildings right here before I'm actually gonna be aware of if they're like assisting each other or if it's some kind of just like logic flaw that's happening right here. But that is one thing that I've noticed that I'm a little bit curious about while we're putting in the flooring over here on our first little building. Now, this game doesn't have storage zones from what I see so far, so I think we actually just use Dwarf Fortress-style designated nodes in order to store up all of our stuff. We've got crates, we've got large crates, we've got pantry shelves, so we've got all kinds of things in here that I think we can arrange pleasantly in order to store up all of our stuff. And so I'm just going to treat this right here as kind of like my storage area, I guess. Just bring everything inside is my advice at the moment. We'll just put in some crates and some boxes. I think it'd be a good idea to get some furniture down here too, just so people have a place to like rest and R&R at. So I'll probably put that right there, and then we'll probably put in some chairs and things too, just so people have places to eat at. I haven't seen all 5 of them eat at the same time just yet, but I think 4 chairs should be sufficient for now. I'd like to, tomorrow, get them off the ground and get them actually sleeping in proper beds, but I don't know if that's actually going to come together because I still need to put the roof in on this building, and then I need to see if roofs are buildable. That is to say, like, when you've got roof tiles, can I build on top of that for a second dormitory level with sandbags around it and whatnot to block projectiles? Or will roofs not actually support what I'm trying to do here? And so I guess that would be my next curiosity that I'd like to play around with. We also have like a food situation that's coming up right now. I took a look at our crops, and they have not grown altogether that much. So in 4 days, they have grown 10%. That does not bode well for our food supply, which has rapidly dwindled down from 40 to 20. And so I think we're just gonna have to scavenge off the land for a little bit in order to make this all work. I'm fine with that, but it is something that I think needs to be addressed before we end up going hungry. And so I think I'm gonna let them build that stuff right there, and let's go real fast, and we'll start nope, don't cut that, never mind, that's not the action that I want you to do. We need as much food around here, uncovered and ready for gathering as possible. Now this stuff is all grayed out on this side, so I don't know if I can harvest it. I may need to draft somebody and just drag them out into other areas to see and mark all the berries. And so T is going to allow me to draft somebody. I'm going to let him eat first. And like, let's take Ted and let's draft his ass. And welcome to the army, Ted. We've got stuff that we've got to flag down because everybody's got to eat. And so let me get out here and just clear some fog of war and figure out what it is that we can accomplish. So there's a berry bush right there. I think every bush gives you like 10 berries. And I think it takes a solid 5 berries or so to make a meal. And so this is going to have to be a pretty aggressive amount of scavenging if it's actually going to sustain us for longer than a small amount of time. But we've got 3 more berry bushes over here. So that's like 6 or 7 more meals. That's good. Yeah, just grab every single berry that isn't nailed down for right now. I feel very passionately about that. What I'm really concerned about is this, like, ham grazer over here. I'm a little concerned he's gonna eat my food. I don't know if we need, like, a butcher table or whatever, but it might be a good idea to start getting rid of some of the herbivores and things around here. I don't know if that's a mechanic that's implemented right now, but it is something that, due to playing way too much RimWorld, I am nervous about. There's nothing more irritating than watching wild flora and fauna eat up all your crops while you can't do anything about it. So, like, I'm gonna keep an eye on him and make sure. Hey, and look at that. He's sitting down and he's eating at the table that I prepped. Sick, dude. That's good. That's exactly what I was hoping would happen right there, that they'll get some kind of like comfort or mood buff, because they do have meters that we need to be babysitting here. They're not super complex, but there is stuff in there. It looks like they've also just got like different medical statuses and things that we can interact with as well. So like, I think paying attention to the needs of our people is sort of a staple of this genre, so we should probably stay on top of it. One thing that's kind of vexing, actually, is that I can't see my inventory anywhere except for opening up the storages and looking to see what I have. I would very much like to have kind of like a sidebar or something around here that would actually show me everything that I have inside my equipment, but like, I'm not seeing it for right now. It's possible that it may just be a technology or something that we unlock later, but I would actually like to have information on how many meals I have left and whatnot on screen at all times. That way I can figure out where my shortages are at and where potential fail points are at for the colony. I'd like to be appraised of that information, but I don't think a whole lot's gonna get done today. It looks like they're all just kind of putting stuff inside storage for now and like packing things up, and so we'll let them do that just to kind of clean up the vicinity. I do think it's a good idea if I could take out my 2 shooters, actually. Who has guns here? So Ted has a gun, and it looks like Setsuko has a gun as well. I'm gonna let her finish eating, but I think it'd be also a really good idea for us to go find some animals to shoot, maybe. There's a deer right there. Maybe we try to hunt the deer. Yeah, attack the deer. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Are you hitting it? Pretty considerable frame lag right there from hunting the deer. I don't know that she's hitting it right now. Hey, she got it, dude. I'm glad that I didn't go after one of the ham grazers, because that was kind of like, I don't know, dude. That was a really long process to kill one deer. It took her a while, and I think she went through like 4 reloads, dude. It was a lot. the deer has been shot to death, and it looks like in combat you end up with a bunch of different gunshot wounds that go to different body parts, all those sorts of things that are going to need to be tracked. I do need to figure out, so do I need a butchery table or anything else to make this work? Maybe we'll try just a default crafting spot. We'll put it in along the side of the house over here and see if that's where I process bodies at, because I'm having trouble figuring out exactly where I can process out a deer at. Well, Ted got his deer on the first shot, so it looks like they process it out at some point. She left the deer laying over there, but Jameer's going to get it, so I don't think it actually has anything to do with the crafting spot. I think that they all know how to hang a deer by default. Maybe. Execute the... Oh, it's not dead. They didn't finish it off. Yeah, just kick its head in real quick. There we go. And then field dress the deer for me, would you? Perfect. We just need more food to be brought back to the house. Each one of those deer is like 25 food. It's like 5 meals. So it should keep us cruising a little bit. I set up a work order so that they'll hunt any deer that come onto like the property basically, or like the place that we live in right now. So if you occasionally hear gunshots or whatever, don't panic. It's by design. That's exactly what's supposed to be happening. Because the ham grazers are so big, I'm not brave enough to try to take one down yet. It says on the hunting interface that they drop 400 meat, which is like an insane amount, considering that would make basically enough meals to last us a long, long time. So I'm only going to take down a ham grazer if I really start to get the vibe that we're going to starve. Let me get this roof installed too, because we've got all of our stuff around now. And so if I can throw in like a roof over here, like so. Perfect. And then just kind of like see how that interacts. And if we can build on top of it, because I'm going to build an apartment on top of this where everybody's going to sleep inside of, so that we're sleeping covered and defended, basically. Another thing that I think kind of needs to change is that there's no way to tell what Z level your clicker is actively on right now without like clicking that up and then mousing around to see where you're at. It'd be nice to see like, I don't know, an iterative number over here or something that tells you how high up you are on the actual Z level before you get moving or what. There's like quality of life stuff that I'm noticing here that definitely needs to get implemented and thrown on into the game, I suppose. We do have research enabled now, I think, which allows us to get farming up and running, or at the bare minimum, we can get some metalworking going too. Let's go for farming first, because I kind of believe in guaranteeing my food supply, I suppose. I would like to have a good food supply. I don't know if I have anybody that's like crazy good at researching. I'm hoping that we have somebody around here that's solid at researching, but like it's kind of hard to say. Nobody here appears to be particularly good at researching, so instead, I'm just going to assign the person who's smartest, and in this case, it looks like it's Ted. Alright, let's go back to our workplace automation then, and we'll put Ted on it. Ted, while there's a research up, go ahead and just make sure that you're rocking out right there. We got a couple people that are good at medicine right here, so we'll make that high priority too, and then maybe I'll walk these back to like level 2 priority. That way, we know that medicals are going to happen no matter what happens. Because we don't want to have like any major malfunctions in our logic where we've got guys laying around bleeding out and nobody comes to aid them. A group of wandering scavengers has arrived. They will stay for a while and then move on. Okay. Are they dangerous? Is this a group of people that I should be concerned about? I don't even know where they are. I don't know if they're going to make a camp or anything else, but hey, kind of hard to say right now. Oh, they just straight up moved into my house. Way Williams tells you about a new location, an old pharmacy. Medical supplies were among the first goods to disappear from the shelves, but you might still get lucky and find something in a back room. Okay, yeah, we've got another menu over here that allows us to go to places and potentially find stuff. I'd be cool with sending people out. Like, we've got Ted, we've got Setsko, and who was our person that has like a... Who was our guy that had a machete? Masao? Okay, so we're going to send them out then. So we'll just go with the top 3. They've got a little bit of mass that they can carry. I would suggest we add meals to this excursion because I am interested in figuring out how this works. It's going to take us 17 minutes to get to a hunting lodge. Okay, just bring 1 meal for everybody then. Like, that's fine, in case they need to eat on the way. And then confirm it. I had to build a Jimmy rig scaffold real quick. I was waiting for morning because everybody was tired, and I didn't know if I wanted to send them out on expedition until they were all rested up. They're not going to be gone that long, but let's go to a hunting lodge and let's see if we can find some ammo, because I was taking a look at what we have on hand, and it's like not a lot, dude. We have maybe enough ammo to last us a couple of days if we're carefully choosing our shots. And like, spoiler alert, I don't think that they're carefully choosing their shots as it sits right now. They're just kind of like unloading on the enemy. And so we'll confirm that expedition right there. And so hopefully we should see people break off and get ready to go, and we'll kind of see. I like the idea of having expeditions that I can go out on in order to go scavenge things from the wasteland. I very much like that angle while they're out here, and they've also got the fog of war cleared. I'm not a huge fan of the fog of war. I wish I could kind of just like see my territory, but I get what they're going for in terms of like realism, like being able to have cover versus defilade versus concealment. Like it opens the game up a little bit tactically. Oh, it just pulled me into the other map. Okay, so is there any control changes on this map? Let's go ahead. Oh, what are those things, dude? A boulder beetle? Is it hostile? I don't know if it's hostile. Is it going to try to hurt me? It's watching. Oh, he's watching for enemies. Okay. So let's get everybody tactically into a better position. Everybody, like, get out here and get behind something while we survey this place. Oh, there are indeed bad guys out here. Okay. So, yeah, you right there. Ted, go ahead and open fire on him. So you attack over there. You attack over there. Okay, we got one. I've got the game going too fast right now. There we go. You pull up over... I don't know. You're going to be out of cover, but, like, we need to put some rounds on these dudes. Oh, you got him, bro. You aced him. Damn, he was at like full health, you absolute killer. I mean, he's nursing a gunshot wound right now, which kind of sucks. Like, that's not... It's in his leg? Okay. It's got like 4% bleed on... He bleeds out in 22 hours. Okay, can I undraft people? And can I treat Ted? Because I know we've got someone here. I think it's the guy with the machete, actually. So you, bro, come over here and see if you can stabilize him real quick. Yeah, get over here, and let's just kind of see what we can do in terms of options. Treat Ted. There we go. Yeah, give him the old... Exactly, dude. Big spoon, little spoon. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so we've got some bugs and things happening. Can you take cover behind a wall and shoot that guy? Is that going to be something you can do? Oh, he got an axe, bro. He got an axe. Get out of the line of fire. Like, this guy right here has nutty melee skill. Like, he has like 8 in melee. Yeah, he's really good at carving people up. Give him one more round for... Yeah, everybody reload real quick before this other guy comes out. And can we strip these guys for anything? So, Nori... Oh, they're firing past my head. Lines of fire! You guys crouch. Maybe that'll give you an accuracy bonus. Oh, this dude got a spear. Run him down, run him down. Okay, so we killed him off. Can we loot these guys right here? So we've got an impact helmet, we've got casual clothing, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Yeah, definitely equip that cloak. You're about to look dope, dude. There we go. He got the poncho on, bro. He got the serape. I firmly believe that ponchos and serapes are the height of fashion coolness. I wish that they would, like, be a thing that we just wear, dude. Ponchos and serapes, they're what's cracking. Throw that helmet on, too. Yeah, you got an impact helmet right there. You're going to be in melee anyways, so you might as well have it. This guy also has a helmet, I think. Yeah, grab that helmet right there. Okay, all right. That's a welding mask. I don't know if that's actually going to function to stop bullets the way that we want it to, but hey, every now and again I'm losing control of my character too, where like their interactions won't happen properly. You go ahead and grab the day pack real quick, because the backpack looks valuable too. I'm guessing that's probably going to increase our carrying capacity by a chunk. Yeah, it's got a volume of 10 liters right there, so that's a solid amount of stuff that we can carry that otherwise we wouldn't be able to. What's this guy got on him right here? So simple hat, casual clothing, loot handgun ammo for sure. Grab all that. We definitely want the handgun ammo. Is there a unified map where I can see all the loot on the ground and throw it into my inventory? Grab his pistol too. That way we've got a gun on us, if nothing else. And then I don't think they've really got anything else that I'm interested in. Looks like she's already dead. Casual hat, clothing. Okay. So we got 2 bodies over there. There's 1 more guy inside. Let's take this nice and careful. Let's get gunners on both sides of the door. That way I can adapt to the situation a little faster. Are you still bleeding out, or have you been treated? He's been treated with 135% efficiency. Love to see it. Okay, so then we're going to want Masao to come over here and attack the wooden door because it looks like they locked it up. Oh, never mind. Okay, so is anybody else inside of here? We're in full-on close quarters mode right now. What can I get off of her? Get the handgun ammo. Yeah, loot all the handgun ammo. We definitely want that. That was one of the main... She has a PDW? Oh, my goodness gracious. Is there a way for me to loot the PDW and put it somewhere? Maybe somebody with a backpack has to do it. Let's continue combing through real quick and just kind of see what we find around here. So, the equipment cabinet. It looks like there's some shotguns and shotgun shells. I'm having trouble getting it to, like, grab onto things, but this one right here has nothing on the shelves, so I'm pretty sure it's empty. Let's go check the food receptacles real quick and see if those have got anything beautiful for us that's going to make our lives a little bit better. So they've got meat inside of there. Okay. Do they have anything in the cooking station? Nothing in the cooking station. We've got a hunting rifle and shotgun shells over here, which sounds really, really good. Looks like we've got rifle ammo as well, so that's going to restock us up for our main shooter, the guy that has the Enfield. But Setsuko, get in here. Start grabbing some of this stuff, because a PDW is like a huge pickup. Yeah, loot the PDW. And how much did that mess with your inventory space? Oh, you're good. Okay, so you're going to be my looter then. Get in here with your pack with your bad self. And let's loot, pick up the hunting shotgun, and then pick up the shotgun shells, all 45 of them. And then we're going to weasel our way over here. We're going to pick up 45 more shotgun shells. Volume's getting a little full right now, but it'll hopefully be okay. Pick up the hunting rifle, because we're absolutely going to need that. Pick up the rifle ammo. There's got to be a better way to do this looting, dude. Like, in an ideal world, once you've effectively killed every single bad guy, what I'd like to see is a unified loot menu that pops up on one side where you can just click on little, I guess, tabs that allow you to, like, tick up and numerate the number upwards. That way, they just go out and auto-grab all the stuff that you added to the shopping list, basically, once it's there. It does kind of get rid of a little bit of the atmosphere and, like, the ambience of, like, looting, I suppose. But nothing in the pantry shelves. These guys over here, there was 4 meat, though. Grab the 4 meat. Ted, do me a favor. If you can get inside of there, that'd be fantastic. Selectivity seems a little bit off, too. So, a battery bank, actually. Okay, what do we have inside of here? Equip the hunting shotgun as your secondary. And then this crate right here, we've got a little bit more meat, and we've got some rifle ammo. Loot the rifle ammo real quick. You're going to need it anyways. Is that an Elmer Fudd gun? Oh, when they said hunting shotgun, I was thinking like we had ourselves, I don't know, dude, like a really, really nice long duck hunting shotgun. But no, dude, it's a literal Elmer Fudd gun right there. Okay, so that's not going to be something that we want to spend a lot of time on. Then we want to take our main looter upstairs. How's her inventory space doing? She is full up. Okay, so there's not going to be much else I can do here. How are the mechanics for going up? Oh, there's so much. Oh, we need more backpacks, dude. That's what we need super badly, is we need backpacks. This appears to mostly just be beds and, like, cabinets up here, so I don't think there's actually anything up here to loot. Let's get everybody back downstairs, and let's do our best to figure out how we get out of here. So we got here. Do you want to return home? Let me do one last spot check to make sure that I got everything. So I don't think I can undraft my characters in here to have them do colony management tasks. So as much as I would like to break down the solar panels in order to get the things that I need, I think it's going to be a little bit more complicated than that, figuring out how to do it. Huh. Well, I guess I'll just send them home. There must be something that I'm missing here, because I really want to break down their furniture for all the cloth and everything else, but I don't know if that's actually going to work out for me. It is apparently still 10:45 on this day, so they were out there at night. I wonder how it actually rectifies the two different time distances or differences inside like the raid versus outside of it, like this stuff doesn't look like it continued happening while they were raiding, which is kind of interesting. And so I guess they'll be back at the time that they were on the other map would be my guess, because it was almost midnight there. And so let's see if they come back at like midnight or how this whole thing functions. Hey, and looky there, they made it back exactly how I thought it was going to work. So they get back at the time that it was during their raid when the raid ends. You can see that I'm doing construction up here. I'm getting this done. I'm trying to have this done by tomorrow or maybe the next day. That way we have an elevated position that we sleep inside of that's fully surrounded by sandbags. They have a one space right there so that I can put them in these spots and have them kneel behind sandbags and fire at enemies if they try to run up, and then we'll put the melee guy right here in case anybody tries to charge the stairs. We can have the melee guy head him off right there, and I feel like that'll be pretty solid for just like early game defense and being safe. Oi, don't snuffle me while I'm sleeping, man. I don't like being snuffled while I sleep. I can't stand that. Like when my dog get on the bed in the morning and like snuffles my head real fast when I'm out cold, that is not the way that I like to wake up in life. Stop that right now. Just like that, it looks like our homeless battle fortress is almost done, dude. We've got it almost set up. Like, we've got a reasonably defensible location, except for the fact that everything here, our castle is made out of plywood, which is not the best situation when it comes to like avoiding getting holes shot in you. This right here is not going to stop a round, but I don't even know if the realism extends that far inside the realm of this title. What I'm finding with it right now, having now played for about an hour and 20 minutes, I don't know what this video is going to edit down into. I don't predict that anymore, because sometimes I'll have like 2 hours of footage and like a ton of dialogue and whatnot, and once I actually condense the video on down, it ends up being like 25 minutes long, and I'm like, damn it, dude, I hate it when that happens. I prefer most of my videos be like on the longer side if I can help it. But anyways, I don't know what it's going to edit down to, but what I've noticed during that time while we've been playing the game is just that the game is fiddly and it's missing a lot of quality of life. There's definitely some bugs and things like that inside of here too, where characters sometimes just sort of bug out and just like stand there, or like they get confused. I had to deconstruct and reconstruct my cook fire over here because one character was bugged out just kind of like standing over here, and when you looked at what she was doing, it said that she was attempting to use a campfire even though the campfire was unimpeded and there was like really nothing inside of the way. So the vibe that I get is that this is a game, so I like the game so far, but it's overly fiddly. It hasn't presented me with enough information. It's missing a lot of like critical tooltips, like pop-up tooltips and things to figure out how things work. And so at the end of the day, I sort of get the vibe that this game is very, very early on in its adventure into early access and whatnot. However, there are things here that I find appealing too. Like, I think the game is really attractive to look at. I think the game has actually got a really, really nice tile set. I think it's got really nice textures. It's got like a really nice design that's nestled somewhere in between almost like minimalism, cell shading, cartooning. Like, I like what they've got going on when it comes to the way that the characters look and the world presents itself. In addition, they've got good gunshot sounds inside of here. It sounds pretty good when we're like gunning down animals or we're fighting with raiders. I do very much like the idea of being able to go out on excursion and scavenge stuff from locations. Obviously, you can do that in RimWorld and whatnot too, so that's going to be like a core basic function. But in this game, it actually feels quite a bit more like going out and scavenging is a bit more of an event. So like you can kind of look after all your needs and whatnot in RimWorld without ever having to leave your base. Like going out on excursions is not really a mandatory requirement like it is in this game. Like, you can get most of the things to you supplied in RimWorld just through like raids and invasions and stuff like that, with enemies uber eating or like door dashing and ass whooping straight to your front door. I haven't been attacked yet by anything outside of my colony. The only combat that we've seen at this point is just when we went out on that raid to go to somebody else's base and take their stuff. And so it seems like in this game it's going to be much more mandatory that you go out and get the things that you need in order to be properly equipped, I guess. In the case of like inventory management, it's all kind of fiddly. Like, you're gonna have to play with it a little bit in order to get it all to function. And so I'll probably drop off all that stuff off of him right there. And in the case of, who was it that had my Magnum over here? Yeah, I don't want you to have a Magnum. Instead, I would like you to equip a PDW as your primary. And then I would like you to just add, I don't know, how much does the PDW hold in terms of its like capacity? Like, what are its stats? You know what I mean? Like, in an ideal world, Yeah, just add the ammunition for that so it takes 40 rounds. Okay. I don't know how much ammunition we have laying around for like small caliber handgun ammunition, but I would like to have as much as you can tangibly carry with you right now, so I'll just put that on, I don't know, like 50 rounds of extra ammunition. Get yourself equipped, and then they'll just restock all this stuff on up over here. And so yeah, like going back to my observations about what I've seen so far in the last hour and a half, just sort of seems like the game is really overly fiddly. I do think there's a lot of ways with the equipment and with the looting and with the generally just organizing stuff inside your inventories that could flow a little bit smoother. One underrated thing I think about RimWorld is just how well Tynan has designed the entire UI to work. And that's why everything functions really well in RimWorld, is it's an incredibly complex game, especially with all of its expansions and whatnot. I would argue that the game has almost gotten too complex at this point, but it's a very complex game, and yet due to the accessibility of the UI and the design of the game, it never feels cumbersome when you're playing RimWorld. It's very, very easy, even if you've never done a tutorial, to go through and figure out how to play RimWorld like step by step without watching any videos or anything else, because everything just makes sense to the eye and to the hand where it's supposed to be inside the overall arrangement. So that would be my thought. This one's very, very early on in early access. Because they're an experienced modding team with loads of RimWorld modding experience, I'm gonna guess that they'll get this one up to shape, because this right here is actually way more cogent than what I played a year ago. What I played a year ago was an absolute mess. This is an actual functioning game that just needs UI work, it needs quality of life work, it needs polish and like bug passes and whatnot. But it does have its own visual identity and thing going on inside the space that it's trying to occupy. And so my guess is that they'll figure it out and get it all put together. I would probably wait 6 months or so just to see how many, like what their patch rate looks like and how fast they're rolling out those updates for the people that have bought the game. But that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. That's what I've got in my head. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll check it out in like 6 months and see what it's bringing to the table that's like different and distinct from RimWorld and what they've got going, because I actually really like the graphics in this game better than RimWorld. I like the 3D, and I like the color palettes, and I like sort of the saturation of what they've got going on inside of their textures. I figure before we close out the video, maybe we go on like one more raid and see what we can get going. Let me make sure that everybody's swapped out their equipment appropriately the way that I wanted them to. And it looks like everybody has their equipment in the appropriate spots. I went to each character and just made sure that through this little menu right here where you set up their default loadouts, they had that stuff all ready to rock. She's still got her backpack on, I think, so she should still probably be one of our better scavengers out here. Like in her, yeah, she's still got the day pack inside. I need to find more of those. It may be worth it for us to stop off at another hunting lodge since we got that at the last one. I don't know if this is the same hunting lodge that I visited before or if it deleted one off the list, so we may be setting ourselves up for a little bit of like depression here. But you guys just grab all 3 of them, and then as far as supplies go, actually what I'm seeing right now is we may actually need to knock over one of these ham grazers. Did they get aggressive? I mean, you shot him twice, that's not bad. Yeah, don't take them long bomb shots, bro. Like, get up closer. Like, stop being a menace and, like, get up a little bit closer before you bust you. He's hitting every single shot, dude. How beat up is this thing? Pretty beat up. He's gonna bleed out in 51 minutes. Okay. Hey, and the ham grazer's down. Finish him off. There we go. And I actually need to make meals. That's kind of where I'm at right now. We don't have a lot of meals at the moment. So I need to make travel meals before we can go out and do another adventure. Yeah, it's little stuff, like when they're cooking meals, they always take the meal back to storage before they start the next one. Instead, they should bring over the materials and then just craft as many meals as they can, throw them off to the side to be hauled. Well, it looks like our research got done on making potato and cotton plants, which is really good too. That's actually a solid situation to find ourselves in, and so I'll probably just plant cotton over here. Like, so I don't know how much I'm gonna need basically in order to make this all function, but I'll throw in a couple more fields on this side to be tended, and we'll call this one a potato field, and we'll call this one a cotton field. That'll work. I think it'll be all right. So the crop's all planted and everybody all clacked out in their gear that they need. Let's send out the team, man. We'll get them out there and we'll kind of see what we've got going on. So get Setsuko, get Ted, and get Maseo. And then I think that should be good. I believe. Oh, they needed meals too. Throw a couple meals in their backpack just in case. It's only 30 minutes away, so I don't think they're gonna starve or anything else like that. But let's take out our hit squad and let's see if we can get ourselves a little bit more loot. Oh, it procedurally generates. We're in like a desert biome right now. Okay, let's split everybody up and let's get everybody kind of moving. It's weird that you can't rubber band box. Like, I really want to move these guys as a squad, but I'm guessing what they want is for this game to be like more XCOM-like once it gets further on in, where you're like moving in between cover spots and things. Oh, dude, it's wide open. That's super no bueno. I hate it. Okay, Ted, you get him back there. And, well, we've been interrupted. So I intervened further on into the map, and one of my guys got one shot. So I tried to reload my save in order to go back and, like, piece it back together and figure out what I did wrong. And unfortunately, I can't load any of my saves right now, except for the manual ones. And I haven't made a single manual save, except for when I first started out. And so anyways, all of my saves right now, they're just kind of hanging, the autosaves or whatnot. I looked into it, and it looks like the developers are aware of the problem, and there's a fix in the next patch. But damn, dude, I was just saying that I was going to keep an eye on it, but things like non-functional saves, man, that just further reinforces. Maybe give this one a lot more time on the skillet before a purchase, dude. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today it was Ascent of Ashes. Tomorrow to be something else. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's all I got, folks.